Hey, what's up, Lightbolt Joe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2020 book. Technically, originally came out in 2015, re-released in 2020. This Winter by Alice Oseman. So this is short. It's a novella. It's a Heartstopper novella. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, a Heartstopper novella. So it's a nice little book. It has some pictures, right? We get some blurbs at the back. There's a little excerpt of Solitaire, which came out in 2014. Originally, and then a re-release in 2020 respectively. So this is the same thing. This version is a 2020 re-release of the 2015 book. So what is This Winter, right? How does it what's the focal point within the Heartstopper franchise that we all know and love? So in volume 4 of Heartstopper, we have little bits of Charlie coming home from the psychiatric ward, dealing with his mental health issues, dealing with the anorexia, the OCD, the previous self-harm last year, and then relapse in the autumn. So he's back now for the Christmas season, and this book literally just takes place on Christmas Day. That's it. So this is technically a Christmas review. I should have worn a Santa hat. Oh, missed opportunity, man. I'm upset with myself. I got to get a red jumper, as they say, sweatshirt, as we say, that Nick has with a giant reindeer on it and some things. So we know in volume 4, middle of volume 4, Charlie goes to Nick's house on Christmas Day crying because he had a big fight with his mom. Just been a bad day, right? Then there's little excerpts, and this is the part of Heartstopper volume 4 where both of them are just writing in their journals, recapping what's happened the last few months. So this is the actual 100-page story of what happened that day. So Charlie and his dad, created a meal plan. That way he can mentally and physically prepare himself for Christmas dinner because both sides of the family are going to be coming over to celebrate Christmas. And so Oliver, younger brother Oliver, 7 years old, has his own story. Charlie has his own story. And Tori has her own story. So we start out with Tori's story. So it's 3 different perspectives: Tori, Charlie, and then Ollie at the end. And so Oliver's in a room at before the sun rises, 6 something in the morning, playing a musical card that Charlie gave him, wanting to open presents, but their parents specifically said, do not wake them until 7:30. So Tori and Ollie are in the room, and then Charlie eventually meanders in after, speaking to Nick on the phone, texting Nick on the phone the night before, morning of, and then, throughout the day as well. Tori, chopped all her hair off over the summer. She's her melancholy self. She exchanges gifts with Charlie. He gives her a Wednesday Addams laptop case, which she absolutely loves. And so she's the only one in the family who does genuinely check up on Charlie in that middle ground, not lecturing about food and not just a blanket, how are you today, with no response needed kind of a thing. But she actually does care about his health. She wants to know how he's doing. Is he okay? Is he ready for the day? Because it's going to be a day. It's the first Christmas that's not going to be quote-unquote normal because he's just back from the psychiatric ward and there's progress he has to make. So, try to make. The family comes over. Chaos ensues. He's just bombarded with constant questions about the psych ward, mental health, eating, stuff like that. Eventually, he has a fight with his mom about that and how she's not really trying, or, she's making him feel bad about it, things like that. So then he runs off to Nick's house. And Tori doesn't want to be left alone with the cousins who just constantly bombard her with numerous questions, and she doesn't care about them. Poor Oliver is being harassed by the 12-year-old cousin who's trying to plait his hair. UK plaiting means US braiding hair, just to get the different statements together. So it's interesting. So then we have Charlie's story. Charlie goes to Nick's house in the pouring rain on Christmas Day, where there's a massive party ensuing at Nick's house. We get introduced to him getting his new pug, Henry, Christmas Day. Henry's introduced at the last half of Volume 4 of Heartstopper. So it was neat having the intro to Henry the pug. Charlie is soaking wet. He changes in Nick's room after, they have a cute little kissing session in the front porch, and he has to introduce his family to Charlie, which is fine. And then David is there. David being Nick's older brother by 4 years, and he's being, the ass that he always is. But just constantly bombarding with the mental health questions. So then Nick and Charlie escape to his room, exchange gifts, have beautiful, cute moments, hang out on the couch for a while. Doctor Who's playing in the background. Tori is trying to text him throughout the day, can't get a hold of him, and so goes to Nick's house, not takes Charlie away, but has a conversation with Charlie. Then they go back to their house. But the neat conversation with Charlie and Nick is how Nick is that middle ground. Nick is that middle ground person where he doesn't push to get information. He doesn't force Charlie to tell him how he's doing, but he gives sage wisdom, advice in regards to how it's okay to ask for help, and people aren't going to help if you don't ask for help. Things like that. So help appropriately if you don't ask for help. There we go. So Nick is now compared to the psychologist Jeff that Nick sees, the therapist Jeff that Charlie sees as well. So it was cute, sister coming to rescue him kind of a thing, but not really needing to rescue him because he was already safe because he's home. Charlie is home to Nick and Nick is home to Charlie. So having that, Charlie did feel bad about abandoning his sister and his brother because all he wanted to do was play Mario Kart, and Charlie played Mario Kart at Nick's house. So they all go back to their house. Then it's Oliver's perspective. He just wants to play Mario Kart. He doesn't understand why there was fighting before. He doesn't understand why Tori and Charlie left on Christmas Day. So he has a conversation with his mom, and his mom says that she might have said something that she shouldn't have, and she's sorry for it. And Ollie literally says, well, you should apologize. If you did something bad, you should say sorry. And she said, you are right. So Charlie and Tori come home. From Ollie's perspective, Charlie and his mom go to the kitchen, have a conversation that he thinks that's where she's saying sorry to, which is good. And then three of them play Mario Kart, and then that's Christmas Day. What's really cool is how quick this is. What's really cool is how I love the design of the 6 books of Alice Osman's. I'm just going to hold them all up. Okay, right. So we have This Winter, Solitaire, Nick and Charlie, which takes place after Volume 4. So I'm reading it in this order, not in the release order, but in the story order, just because like there's a few different fandoms on I'm part of a few different Heartstopper fandoms on groups on Facebook. But one of the commenters was suggesting reading it in this order based on the story outline, not so much because these 3 at the end, Radio Silence, Born This Way, and Loveless, same universe, but nothing to do with Nick and Charlie. These are Nick and Charlie and Tori stories. This Solitaire is mainly a Tori story, which was the first one technically, but read them in this order. So I'm reading them in this order, but I love this design, the color block of it. It's just so simple, so gorgeous. Absolutely love it. But you can see the difference of size. So these 2 are the novellas. These are the 4 novels. There's 6 books. Things, right? So we got 1 down. We got 5 to go. Yeah, gonna add this to the Christmas review playlist that we've created. I should have worn a Santa hat. I missed the opportunity. I'm ashamed of myself. I brought dishonor to my family, dishonor to my cow. I don't know how I'm going to continue on the day without feeling sorry for myself. Merry Christmas in advance. This Winter by Alice Osman, an incredible book. Go check it out. Mucho mahalo.